welcome to some kind of random race or other. No one's really sure what you're at Macau or something. And we're driving some go-karts. And I'm very attractive, and with me, as always, is the man who can turn carrots into buttermilk, Michael Vegas.
I was unaware that I possessed that ability. I'll tell you what I am aware of, though. My legs feel like shit.
Well, stop kicking everybody.
No, it's the wrong part of the legs for that.
Well, kick appropriately, then. I don't know what to tell you, man.
We are here for the Formula Series Nordschleife race, where we change the car every week. And we race the same track. So it's kind of the opposite of like what you would normally expect from a series where the track changes but the car stays the same. No. We're going the opposite way around. We got a pretty good field here today, I think. We had 10 cars that had times there was at least one more car on track. I like the old school liveries that we got rocking here. These are the old school F1 like 90 cars that the game has. Formula 90s. So like patterned after like cars from the early 90s of Formula 1's heyday. And it will be a double race with a reverse grid. I'm not sure if everybody is reversed or if it's just a top X, but we'll find out. And we're racing around the Nordschleife, which means, Byron, we're going to see some carnage.
I do enjoy the carnage.
On pole in the 7-Up car, Max Simmons. Man who is dominating all things ESR these days.
If it was a Nordic beverage, would it be called Sven Up?
It would, probably. I do like the Nordic beverage Husky Chocolate, which is like a really high premium chocolate milk.
Dog squeezins.
Only reason I actually know about it is because one of the IndyCar drivers, Marcus Ericsson, has it as a sponsor. So,
yeah, very nice.
One of those few times where like I've actually discovered a product because of racing sponsorship. Oh, somebody off the back.
Other than dick pills.
Well, I mean, it's I haven't really discovered any dick pills because, like, largely I know what the dick pills are.
Fair enough.
On board with Vic Vegas, we head down to corner 1. We are courtesy of Andrew D. We do have the Andrew D style overlay today because something went wrong with the recording process for the Nordschleife race live. So, Andrew D to the rescue, and we tip our hat in your direction.
Well done, sir. Well done. Is he going to edit himself in the first place?
Well, he's in 7th right now, so we'll find out. If he suddenly jumps up into the lead, we know what happened.
Due to creative editing purposes,
dude,
your champion of the series.
He's up to 6th. He's up to 6th. He's charging.
The fix is in.
Tobias Theroll for the lead from Max Simmons, Enrique Hervas. Oh, Rene Ermer losing it on the marbles. And we hop on board with Mauricio Delgado. 18 cars today. So Theroff leading from Simmons, Hervas, Edmonds, Butler, D, Delgado, Darnell, Marioka. And then it is Vic Vega rounding off the top 10. It's Mauricio. Cuts across the pit entrance there. Or I'm not sure if that is the pit entrance for Nordschleife. It probably isn't. It's the pit entrance for Nürburgring. Oh no! Jumping in sparks everywhere as Mauricio goes off the track again and drops. Oh! Mauricio! Mauricio's kind of being driven by the car, I think, a little bit right now.
These are very possible statements of truth.
Taka's sporting the Benetton pattern car. Gotta love it. The Benetton cars back in the early 90s always had some interesting liveries. Makes sense. It's a high-end Italian clothing company. You know, into the wall, and there goes your nose. It looks like these guys are having a hard time with the most advanced cars probably actually in the history of Formula 1. The early 90s was the time of the greatest progression of technology in F1, actually. They had just gone away from the turbo era. And essentially all the electronic things that are illegal now were legal then. And all the tricks and trades, like active suspension and stuff, were also legal. So yeah, it is probably the 92, 93 seasons where you see the most advanced cars in F1 history.
Yeah.
Oh, Mauricio! How is his nose still attached? That's like the 3rd time we see Mauricio go into a wall, and his nose has remained on the car.
He is a very precise human being.
Bertrand Barrier up into the top 10, mostly because of other people falling off. He's up into 9th place. They're all still leading from Simmons, Hervas, Edmonds, and Butler. Top 5 unchanged. Top 6 actually unchanged, but now Vega, Darnell, Barrier, and, well, Barrier just overtakes Darnell there. So we talked about that. And Rabada? Gonna go with that as the pronunciation for the guy in 10th place. He is new to my senses. Tau 1! There's another new face to the whole field. Oh, into the wall. Well, Tau 1, you've joined the Noseless Club.
You think they would have built those better?
Well, when you're trying to make everything as light as possible, certain structural stability is passed up. And honestly, this was the time of the really not so stringent technical regulations in regards to safety. This was the time of Andrea Moda, which I've told the story of before. They are the only F1 team in history that I am convinced was trying to murder their driver. Like
everything was made out of paper mache and cardboard tubes.
Like every other team, it's like kind of a byproduct of like the going fast process is creating a dangerous car. No. Moda is like, so yeah, this car isn't actually working. Hey, Perry McCarthy, get your ass in here. I am forever. I will always be impressed that Perry McCarthy didn't quit the team after he had a. Can't remember what race it was for, but there was a race where they sent him out literally with a broken car. Came back in, he's like, car feels kind of broken, and his head crew chief, yeah, that's the car Moreno broke already. We just had sent you out in it. Bertrand Barrier now has no nose, struggling to get off the curb there. I kind of figured that the Nordschleife. Okay, so we watched the Nordschleife last week with the F3 cars. Now the F3 cars can do Nordschleife without too much problems, but I did figure that we would see a lot of carnage here today, and it hasn't disappointed. The cars are going everywhere because there's a ton of power in these cars, and well, I mean, Formula One did race here, so I can't say that they're not accustomed to the car or to the track. But Formula One stopped racing here for a reason. You know what I mean? And it was a high level of fatality and crashes. We are seeing that today. James Butler running in 5th place. James Butler having a good race. We know that Butler has immense talent and skill. It's just a matter of putting the whole package together, and having his VR not fail. That also, admittedly, is part of the equation. Whoa! Martin Edmonds in the wall.
That was weird. He went from going straight to going exactly not straight.
Well, you can see Butler's wheel. Like there's a ton of oversteer, understeer going on in these cars, even in a straight line. Like they are bucking the drivers around as Will Scott going very slowly. But hey, if you don't crash into the wall, you don't lose your front wing.
Might I recommend just making the cars not suck?
Well, that's not within the. Oh! I think he survived. I think the car is intact. Race leader Tobias Thirol finishing the first lap. That's right, first lap, because this is a 7-minute lap.
Would like everybody to join me in bullying Sony Pictures and trying to get Morbius released for a 3rd time.
Oh Lord.
I would convinced that we were all really busy that one weekend.
I would hope that they have learned their lesson, but I'm not convinced that they have. I would just hope. Rene Ermer overtaking Andy Darnell. Taka Maruka has overtaken Peter Thurman. Or Peter Thurman. Pardon me, no R there. And Barrier is in the pits, and he is now going to retire the car. So we've lost 2 cars, the number 7 of Barrier and the number 55 of Xiao 1. James Butler up to 4th place, of course, after Edmonds' crash. Edmonds still in 5th, so continuing on. This is like only a 4-lap race. Edmonds is driving without the nose cone, Byron. Oh boy. Okay, so for those who don't know, the nose cone and the front wing provide all the downforce to the front of the car. It allows you control, it gives the front end bite, and so on. Running without it means that front end is going to try to do everything in its power to kill you. And that is what Martin is trying to do here. As Max Simmons runs in second place.
Excellent.
Simmons has dropped quite a ways off of Theorolf, so if I were Theorolf, I would just try not to crash, and you probably got this sewn up. There's Andrew D. I'm not sure what F1 car that is supposed to be. I mean, it looks kind of like a 2000s era or a 2000 season Minardi. But that's not what these are supposed to be modeled after. We've lost Henrik Ermer as well as Will Scott from the race. Rabada in the pits. Maroka in the pits. Actually, it looks like Scott is still running because it's now showing him in the pits. I'm not sure what happened there.
Did you say Shibata's in the pits?
I did not say Shibata was in the pits.
Why not?
I said Rabada is in the pits.
Domo arigata, Mr. Rabada.
Ooh. Although Mr. Rabada does have an accent above the A, so I suspect he is not Japanese.
Rabata.
That to me suggests Spanish, perhaps? Some kind of Latin-speaking country.
Lithuanian.
Possible. Possible, but unlikely. We haven't gotten a close-up of him, so we haven't seen a flag.
It's because he's using the invisible flag technology.
Oh. Vic Vega! Running in 7th place for the Liquid Molly entry. One of the more famous sponsors in racing history, Liquid Molly.
One of these days, someone's going to come up with a solid Molly, and it's going to be game changer.
Absolute game changer.
You just drop a block of it in your engine, you're good.
I'm not sure that it is solid Molly would be good because liquid Molly's in oil, so I mean, it's a lubricant. So I don't think that's a good plan.
Well, solid means it'll last longer. Easy, done.
Mauricio Delgado in 11th place. Luckiest man in the world, really, because he has hit the wall a couple of times, and somehow it has stayed... the car has stayed intact. It's Mathieu Rabada, actually. I see the pit report in the top right-hand corner there. So, Romanian is actually going to be my guess.
Wrong. It's Grecianian. What did the Romans get off naming another country after themselves?
What's more weird is that Romania has actually kept a lot of Roman culture.
That is odd.
Despite actually never really being fully integrated into the empire.
Do they still do the communal toilets with the poop stick?
No. Not that far. Not that far.
Well, they're not hardcore enough.
But linguistically of the Balkan countries, they're the closest to actually having a Roman language. Obviously, the name has stuck.
Romania.
They seem, I don't know, they seem bizarrely proud of their Roman heritage, which, again, they were the least integrated to the Balkan countries into the Roman Empire, so it's very weird.
They're not even Dalmatian. Jeez.
Ah, the Dalmatians. Dalmatia had an awesome flag, I will say that. You've never looked up the Dalmatian flag.
I'm assuming it's just white with black spots.
I'll show you in between the races. Oh, James Butler. No. No, James. He's been buttled. His wing is gone. Oh, Henrik Ermer's back out there. So, okay, so I'm a little bit confused by this. So if you look at beside like Will Scott's car there, you've got the no sign, the circle with the line through it. I thought that meant they were out of the race, but Henrik Ermer had that beside him, and is now back out there. So that's not what that means. Maybe that just means that they're in the pits.
Could be.
Now, I do think those 4 cars with it are in fact out of the race, just because it's that symbol's been beside them for a long time. So I suspect they are in fact out. As we go on board with Tobias through. It looks like Mr. Rabada does not have a flag according to our overlay. There's a couple of drivers lacking flags. So that could be that they haven't set the flags, or it could be that Andrew D's system does not have the resources to replicate their flag.
Or they're permanently stateless and no one likes them.
Kind of like how Assetto Corsa Competizione does not allow for certain flags to be actually displayed.
Will not display United States of America.
Well, we learned, for example, that the most notable one was it doesn't have the Belarusian flag in it, which we learned when back in the academy we had the racer Karolina Haskanovic show up, and and her flag could not be replicated. So she raced as a Latvian driver as opposed to a Belarusian. So it could be a situation like that. Now, Raceroom has an exceptionally large flag selection. Like, I remember when I introduced Jack to the game, Silent Jack, our race steward, and he's like, "Holy shit, my home flag is actually here." I'm like, "You mean Sweden?" He's like, "No, the Alan Islands." I'm like, "Oh, it's not even a country, but the flag is there." He is, of course, he was born on the Alan Islands.
It's literally just one island, and it's a guy named Alan who lives there.
I think it's 3 islands, I want to say.
They're all populated by a guy named Alan.
We'll look that up between races as well. You're gonna get a geography lesson today, everybody. Klaus Peter Themen still running, so hey, points are points. Pick up James Butler, who still has no front wing, I don't think. He is going to try and He's going to try and hang on, much like Martin Evans. It's worked for Martin. Martin's actually up to 4th place. Now, it should be mentioned that the wing will probably help in certain circumstances, such as straight line speed, because you're reducing the aero drag on the car. But the handling of the cars without a nose is going to be absolutely horrifying. As Butler clips the curb a little bit there and spins around, ends up pointed the right direction. But probably going to lose a spot to Vic Vega.
Victor Vega.
Cousin of Vincent and... Damn it, what is the Reservoir Dogs Vega?
What?
So you got the Vegas from the Tarantino films. You got Vincent Vega from Pulp Fiction, and then what was Michael Madsen's name again? Was it Vega?
Vic Vega.
It was Vega.
Yeah.
Woo! Butler trying to get back past ya boy, Vic Vega, but Vega gonna hang on for now. Careful, he will torture you while listening to lighthearted music.
Like Kenny G?
Fallon has suggested a Twitch streamer who does MechWarrior Online content, who does parody songs, much like yourself, actually, throughout.
Very nice.
It's kind of intriguing. They are currently working on redoing the entirety of Bohemian Rhapsody, but as a MechWarrior song, which is intriguing.
Mama, I just stomped a man.
I think they actually have that line in there. Butler is keeping up with Vega, but my lord, does that car look like it is a handle? Andrew D, by the way, is closing on Martin Edmonds. Bit of a showdown for 4th place there. Can Butler find a way past despite the damage to his car? Still wondering what livery that Butler's car is supposed to be. Very close there. If I'm not mistaken, the car driven by Vic Vega is the old Footwork / Arrows liveries when they had the U.S. Mail as a sponsor.
When it absolutely, positively has to get picked up within 2 months. U.S. Mail.
I mean, considering how bad of a job places like FedEx do, I don't know if we can really. I don't know if we can really shit on the U.S. Postal Service.
I ordered a shirt a week or so ago, and it's still bouncing around 3 different depots in Illinois or some shit. Come on, guys, get it together.
Oh yeah, no, I remember. I don't remember what product it was now. I don't remember what I was ordering, but I remember just being really frustrated that it had bounced around the same Chinese city 5 times. Enrique Hervas running in 3rd place. Your boy gonna pick up a podium, Byron.
Hell yeah.
Rene Ermer in 9th place, or 8th place, pardon?
73rd place.
Well, we don't go that far, dude.
357th place. You still get 32 points.
He is about 4 seconds behind Vic Vega, who is battling with James Butler, so could move up. Has some upward mobility. Andy Darnell, 9th place. Oh, you know what I should have been paying attention to? So there are different engine specs in this car. There's the V12, there's the V10, and the V8. I'm wondering, because obviously the V12 would be faster in a straight line, but would be more of a handful. So I do wonder, because there you are. Max Simmons is in the V8. We know that Darnell's driving the V10. We need to pay more attention to this in race number 2. Because that would also perhaps explain some differences along the big-ass straight. V8 for Taka. I do like that car. That's the, like I said, that's the Benetton-inspired liveries, which Michael Schumacher made his debut in.
Ben who?
Or not his debut. He made his debut, of course, for Jordan, but then after one race, Benetton was like, we would wish to acquire the rights to Mr. Schumacher. Mr. Schumacher has earned our respect. That was that.
Well done.
And then he would go on to win 2 world titles for Benetton in 1984 and 1995 before deciding to leave for Ferrari and rebuilt Ferrari from a constructor that had not won a title since 1979 to winning the 2000 world title, the 2001, 2002, 2003, and 2004 titles.
Dang.
And then only one since.
Well, I mean, how can you possibly expect to keep winning if you suck?
More or less, Ferrari is the masters at screwing everything up. So Rene Armour's in the V12. He's got the big beastie engine. And so is Butler. That would explain why Butler was giving Vega such a hard time on the straightaways. Because that V12 engine is pumping out a boatload of horsepower. That being said, it is, like I said, by far the hardest to control. And we are now seeing the other V12 of Rene Armour catching up with Vic Vega, who I imagine, just based on relative performance, is running one of the smaller engines, maybe a V8. Klaus-Peter Themen in the pit lane. I hope that is not to retire the car. Vega's in a V10. Okay, I thought it would be a V8, but V10 also makes sense that he is losing out in the straight line here.
Actually, I believe he's driving a straight 19.
Mm. Such an engine would be huge.
Indeed.
You have to put it in like a mouse.
No, I think you need at least a rat or a couple of hamsters.
I saw a Twitch channel the other day. World of Tanks content, but it's not actually playing World of Tanks. It's all just like games like we used to do with the arty bowling and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it was two mouses, and they were trying to push a T1 Cunningham out of the circle against each other. It was kind of funny.
Very nice. Indiana State Representative has introduced an amendment to an anti-abortion bill that would also outlaw erectile dysfunction drugs. If unwanted pregnancy is the act of God, then impotency must also be an act of God. End of list.
Not wrong.
Thank you and good night.
Vic Vega running in 7th position. There's Henrik Ermer, who's been to the pits and has come out of the pits and is still running in 13th. Other great drivers who made debuts in these cars. Mika Hakkinen would have been debuting around this time. Of course, 1998 and 1999 world champion. Would have also seen Jean Alesi, who is probably the greatest F1 driver to have one win. One race win only to his name.
What about the great F1 driver, Eric Bana?
Eric Bana could totally pull off playing an F1 driver in the film. Enrique Hervas running in 3rd place. Picked himself up a podium. I see you've been contributing the Real Life Racing channel with the whole Oscar Piastri stuff.
With the what?
Where Alpine is like, we would like to announce we have signed Oscar Piastri for the 2023 season, and Oscar Piastri is like, I understand that they have released a statement saying that they have. I will not be. I'll be racing for McLaren.
No, he said, well, somebody said something about they did that without my permission. I'm not racing for them. And then the next guy's like, you copy pasted it.
Yeah,
it said, I am
totally racing. Yeah, Alex Albon tagging on.
There you go.
I actually started off in IndyCar when Chip Ganassi Racing is like, we would like to announce that we have re-signed Alex Palou for another season. And Alex Palou just went, you have not.
You would like to announce that, wouldn't you?
You would like to announce that, but it's not factually correct. Max Simmons coming across the line in 2nd place. Once again, Toby Theobald versus Max Simmons. Classic rivalry. Enrique Hervas bringing it home in the V12. Enrique Hervas in the V12 kept it out of the wall. A hearty chest-slapping applause for that one, because that is impressive. And Martin Edmonds is going to bring it on home with no nose cone and finish in 4th. Andrew D, who again gets a salute for, well, making this commentary possible, frankly. Coming home in 5th place. And it is going to be James Butler. Another noseless car. Coming home in 6th. Vic Vega Solid race, 7th place. Congratulations. Andy Darnell, currently in 8th. I think there's really no chance that he gets overtaken here. He's quite a ways ahead of Mauricio Delgado. And I'm forgetting Mr. Braun's first name. There it is. Well, no, there it isn't. It just starts with an A. Darnell, Delgado, Braun, Taka, and Ermer also finish off with the top 12. We lost Rene Ermer, Klaus-Peter Themen, Will Scott, Rabada, who is Spanish. Interesting that the Spanish flag does not work on Andrew D's overlay.
He just really doesn't like Spanish people.
I'm grabbing you the Dalmatian flag.
I know what it looks like. It's just white with black spots.
Oh, well, the link I posted is not going to work because it's way too fucking long.
Jeebus. You got problems, kid.
It was what off a Google search.
A likely story.
Should have worked. All right, 13 cars taking part in race number 2. Oh, Lord, somebody is already in the wall. Somebody is already off on the grass. And Braun is already in the pit lane. So Braun is out.
All right.
Down to 12 cars, 2 of which have been horribly mangled. Taka in the lead, battling with Andy Darnell and Mauricio Delgado. Mauricio up into second. Max Simmons working his way through, along with Tobias Thierolf. They were the big stars of race number 1. I think it was Thierolf who went into the wall, actually, so that could be intriguing. Max Simmons is up into 6th position, having started in 12th. He's carving through the field. At the front, it is Andy Darnell in the lead, taking that off of Taka in the Benetton. Butler and Max Simmons up to 3rd and 4th place. Actually, Delgado back up into 4th. Hervas 6, D, Vega, Edmonds, Ermer, and Ermer. Then Thierolf. Max Simmons going side by side with Mauricio Delgado. Mauricio off the track. Not good. It's not how you take the NGK chicane, Mauricio. And that will put Simmons into 4th place. Actually, question for the German fans. Is it the NGK chicane or is it the Vito chicane? Because it's named 2 different things on the various track maps I look at, which means that the corner at some point had its name changed. Which is the current one? Is it NGK or is it Vito?
I would like to veto any name change.
Nürburgring and / Nordschleife is kind of classic for that. Is their corners have taken many names over the years, and as a result, I think it's a bad idea. I think you should really have the same name all the time. I know that there's sponsorship money and whatever in it for you, but still. James Butler fighting hard to keep 2nd place away from Taka, but he has lost Andy Darnell by a fair bit. Rene Ermer up in 8th place. Oh,
There's luck there.
that's a lot going on there. Almost killed Andrew D. Not good times for Rene Ermer. Tobias Thierolf up into 7th place after his run-in with the wall. Oh, Lord! The yellow and blue car getting flipped up. Somebody was off the track as well. All kinds of problems here at the Nordschleife. Thierolf absolutely elbowing his way through up into 5th place. Next on his list, Martin Edmonds. Taka down to 3rd place, having been relegated by Max Simmons.
The Michinoku driver.
There, I found an actual functioning link for the Dalmatian flag.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of spots that
It is not
immediately
simple.
make up blue and yellow and some heads and some. I believe those are weasels.
Not sure what they're supposed to be.
They're probably supposed to be lions, even though
Probably
there are no
lions
lions.
would be my guess, yeah.
No lions available in Romania.
Well, Dalmatia's not in Romania. It's actually closer to Croatia.
No. It's the coast that isn't... It's the Adriatic coast that isn't Italian.
Exactly. It is Croatian by virtue of no beaches for Bosnia.
Yeah.
See, my obsession with the Napoleonic War comes in handy sometimes. Remembering all of these various German and Italian states that have gone by the waysides.
Especially...
Maxim is going for the lead and gets it. James Butler overtaking Andrew D for 7th place. D also losing out to Enrique Hervas. Oh, Tobias Nearov getting all over up in Andy Darnell's business. Darnell must have gone off the track at some point because he was moving very slowly through that section. So, Theorolf up a spot into 2nd, and the top 2 from race 1 are back in the top 2 spots, although in reverse order. Darnell looks like he's just crawling right now as Martin Edmonds is zipping up to him. I don't think he has the V12 engine, so I mean that's part of it, but I also think he's just making a lot of mistakes. Not comfortable in that car right now.
Well, maybe he needs one of them wooden beaded seats. And a drink holder.
Well, these cars would have the drink spout in the helmet, actually. So.
Ooh, beer helmet, very nice.
Enrique Hervas battling with James Butler over 6th place. Oh, Butler off the track. More contact with the wall.
Hands up, everybody in the comments who fills their Camelback with screwdrivers.
I think I'm the only one that does the Camelback.
What?
I've suggested it as a good idea for almost everybody, but I don't know if anyone's actually followed my advice.
Well, so you get the Camelback, and then you get the Camel front, and then you never have to leave the rig ever again.
Indeed. I don't always use the Camelback. Usually only if it's going to be a long enough race that I'm going to be chugging water throughout it.
It's longer than 8 minutes.
If it's about an hour long race, I'll use the Camelback. For the 3D speed races, I just have a water bottle handy for like a quick refresh at the pit stop. Mauricio Delgado's lost his front end. And after a really good race 1, maybe not going to be the greatest of race 2s. Although, mind you, with only 12 cars running, still getting a lot of points. There's a spot there to Henrik Ernmer. Moves to the back of the pack. Andy Darnell trying to fight back against Vic Vega. Unable to at the moment. James Butler. Darnell is going to get Vega, actually. Maybe. Caught wide. Butler going down the inside.
Yeah.
And, well, that's that.
It'll flip you like an egg.
Unfortunate contact for Enrique Hervas. Hopefully his car did not take any particular damage there as he hit the side of the spinning Andy Darnell. Oh, breed move. And it worked. Hervas in front, coming into the Warsteiner curve. On board with Andrew D. And it's Andy Darnell ahead of him. Battle for 7th place. Through the chicane. And we leave the Nürburgring at this point and head out onto the road. Nordschleife time. That will be the spot for D up into 7th place.
I should say wait and cut off those rear view mirrors. You're not going to go backwards. Just keep going forward. Be optimistic.
They're a safety feature.
Commit to the optimism.
Actually, many of the teams have worked the rear view or the side view mirrors into actually being part of the aerodynamic airflow.
Next, they just need the mud flaps that have the lady silhouette on them.
James Boutelier, well, now trailing Hervos and Vega, was for a long time. He was the meat in this sandwich for a time. Good to have James Butler and Enrique Hervos back on track. The Butlertron 5000 looking for a move around the outside.
Just like 2 Trailer Park Girls.
Another one of the Mech Warrior parodies that was going on the other day. Butler going for the move here, side by side with Enrique Hervos, and gets the spot for Dell. Their wheels lock a little bit. That's some goofy race room physics for you. No actual contact, but they get shoved wide. Rene Ermer. Actually, I think the only driver who didn't finish race 1 who is still running here in race 2 is Rene Ermer, on the tail of Andy Darnell. And he'll get that spot. Leveraging his V12 engine. I think, if I recall correctly, Darnell was the one who went with the V8, which is consistent but lacks the top end speed. Vic Vega messing up into the carousel. Loses spot to James Butler.
I would recommend just drifting that whole thing.
In these cars? I actually did get to watch a video about Nicholas Moran, the chieftain, talking about drifting tanks and how it's actually it's pretty possible actually on a street.
Yeah.
He was breaking down tank scenes from various films. He was talking about the GoldenEye tank hunt, which he gave a middling grade to. He gave very good grades. He gave very good grades to Fury, Saving Private Ryan, obviously, and Denzel Washington movie about the Persian Gulf War, where he kills a friendly tank. I'm not remembering. I'm remembering the cast and not the actual title of the movie. Mostly because it has a really, really good cast, actually.
Hunt for the Red October.
No.
Hunt for the Blue October.
Last Theorolf coming up behind Max Simmons. And he would like to take the lead, please. Want to say Courage Under Fire, maybe?
Could be. I believe that is a movie he definitely made.
There you go.
Sounds like I've got new people moving in upstairs right now. Either that or some people are showing up to do some hardcore work on the place upstairs. One or the other.
imagine there'll be a refresher before a new tenant moves in.
They already did some stuff.
Oh, okay. Hervas on the tail of Vic Vega. He'll make the move up into 5th place. Mistake there by James Butler. And we'll move Hervas to 4th and Vega to 5th. So, Byron, what would be your philosophy here with the 3 engine types we have? Do you go with the controllable but slower V8, middle ground with the V10, or absolute power with the V12?
I mean, the obvious answer is you just use all 3 at the same time, and you have way more power than anybody else.
Ah, I see. We're going with the V30. Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, and so you can get another one, so you can have 1 engine per tire, and then you're just gone.
D running in 7th there. Check in with Vic Vega, who's up to 5th place. Trailing Enrique Hervas, as well as Martin Evans up ahead of them.
You would.
Hervas looking for back-to-back podiums. Just Martin Edmonds in the way.
There is a way around that.
It's called Martin still destroying his tires in a 4-lap race.
Possibly true as well, yes.
Andrew D on the tail of James Butler. It's a V10 chasing a V12. Enrique Hervas. He's been very impressive today. Mauricio Delgado, by the way, out on the soft tires. He made a pit stop earlier and is going for all the speed.
That's an interesting maneuver, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for him.
I mean, he lost his nose. I mean, anything he gets is totally in respect to those tires. He's closing very quickly on Henrik Herman.
I mean, the obvious answer is no tires, and then you just use wings and a jet engine. And then you're way faster, and you have less tire wear.
We're going with the Diddy Kong racing strategy.
That is possible.
The only time Nintendo tried to make a game for Diddy Kong. No Donkey Kong, just Diddy Kong. Oh, Hervas, there goes the nose.
No, they've tried to make Donkey Kong games before.
I said Diddy Kong. Diddy Kong. James Butler up into 5th place. That crash. Tracking Vic Vega down. Andrew D also getting a spot off of that whole deal into 6th place. Enjoy the scream of the old school Formula One cars that racing fans have been asking to get back for so long during the hybrid era.
I believe they should all be racing pedal cars. And then they should have to scream out loud, like their engines.
Oh! That would be intriguing.
Yeah.
Be hard on the lungs, though.
Hey, it's the price you gotta pay.
And the vocal cords. Whoa, Butler! Going down the inside.
You gotta scream.
4th place. Kind of like playing D&D. Gotta do the voice.
It was always one thing I not into doing. One of my gaming groups had a rule that if you wanted to, like, if you played a bard and you were gonna play a song, you had to like actually sing it and stuff. So I just never did, because who wants to actually do that?
I mean, I'm sure there are people who want to do that, but like, I would just play a bard, sing a couple tunes, and they'd be like, "Ah, no, the rule's gone. The rule's gone."
Yeah. But I have a really good idea. I want to play a bard, but his personal instrument's just like this really unwieldy
Oh,
Vic
spin
Vega
around
into
for
the
Vic
wall.
Vega. Yep.
But I want to play a bard that, I don't know, like he plays like a grand piano, so he has to have a giant like aux cart to haul it around on. And it's just totally impractical, or like an octo bass or something.
Could you work an organ gun into the organ?
Could be interesting.
The most unique unit in AOE 2, the organ gun. Only reason to play the Portuguese.
The Arkanstorm.
Enrique Hervas. Running in 6th place. He has had an eventful race, to say the least. And it's running without a nose count. Trying to hunt down Andrew D. Not much change in the top 5 between the 2 races. So in race 1, we had Thierolf, Simmons, Hervas, Edmonds, D. In race 2, we have Thierolf, Simmons, Edmonds, Butler, and D. So really just one change. As Andy Darnell goes around the outside of Vic Vega, who is dropping like a stone.
Heck and or darn, no.
Vic trying to come back at him down the straightaway. Using that draft. And we'll zip by, but now the draft favors Mr. Darnell, because they do have the same engine. They're both V10s. And there we go. Andrew D still hanging on to 5th place.
Is that a good decision?
Well, I would have to say so. I mean, this implies that there was a decision to make that would put him up in the top 4.
How delightful.
And I think aside from not getting murdered on lap 1, I'm not really sure that there's much really could have gone differently for D. Enrique getting closer. Wants that top 5. We are on the final lap here of Nordschleife. This is the last time these cars will be going through this section of the track. Edmonds has cut it down to, or not Edmonds, Delgado has cut it down to less than 10 seconds now between him and Henrik Ermer. So the soft tires coming into play.
Swift.
And in fact, he has overtaken Henrik Ermer, who is diving into the pit lane. Interesting.
R.I.P.
And Enrique Hervas.
If he doesn't
Still
pit,
trying.
you must acquit.
Still trying to find his way up onto the podium. It's not without possibility. Martin Edmonds has fallen behind James Butler at some point. We didn't see how that happened. So it looks like he's going to get a second, 4th place if nothing changes. Oh, I say this. And he goes really wide. Oh! Andrew D wants through. Hervas wants through. This could get messy.
Put him in the wall.
Edmonds getting shoved by D. D taking fourth. Goes a little bit wide to get it done, but does get it done. Hervas wants in too. Hervas has still got no nose. So, you know, that car not handling great, but it's a rocket in a straight line.
See, if Martin just spins at the right time, he can throw both these guys at the wall.
That'd be hard to do. I think D's is a little bit clear of him now. Rene Ermer is catching up to this group, but I don't think he's going to have enough time to get in on the action. And Hervas takes 5th place with a daring around the outside move on Martin Edmonds.
Ha-cha-cha.
I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that move on Martin after I saw how he absolutely dumpstered that dude at Paul Ricard. Oh boy. Edmonds on the tail. Still has gone from being on the podium to 6th place in just one lap. There is the man who has inherited that podium position, James Butlier.
Rip.
I may have just cast a cursed him.
Rip.
He goes into the wall, loses a nose cone. Andrew D's coming for that podium, boy. And he's got it. Andrew D is 3. Hervas.
Bound and determined.
Hervas is through as well. Edmonds is through. 3rd place is cursed. Pick up the race leader, Tobias Thierolf. On the home stretch.
Toby the Theory Wolf.
Vic Vega in the pit lane. And there is your race winner, Tobias Thierolf. Max Simmons going into the wall. Max, how did you lose your nose?
Picking it.
Still going to pick up 2nd, I do believe, despite the rough ending for the V8 powered Max Simmons.
You pick your friends.
I think he's the only V8 powered car actually in the field. A couple of V10s, a couple of V12s. Andrew D. paying for that V10 decision right now is Enrique Hervas with the V12 going for that podium. He wants identical podium to race 1. And right now, he's got it. And it is indeed going to be an identical podium here in race 1 and race 2. Enrique Hervas comes through. Andrew D is in 4th, followed by Martin Edmonds, so they're just reversed from race 1. Rene Ermer is your big winner here in race number 2, though. DNF race number 1 comes home in 6th place this time. James Butler will come home in 7th. Could have had a podium. Could have very easily had a podium.
Could have had a V8.
Could have. Not really sure if a V8 would have been a good... I mean, the V8 had the best average finishing position of all the cars because Max Simmons, I think, was the only V8 and he got 2nd in both races. But,
let's talk about the beverage. That was their slogan for a long time.
It was. Never had a V8.
I smelled one once. It's tomato juice. I got to reel out real quick.
It did.
Did not enjoy it.
B-roll, Simmons, Hervas, D, Edmonds, Ermer, Butler, Darnell, Taka, Vic Vega, Mauricio Delgado, your finishers. Henrik Ermer did not finish the race, but had a pretty solid showing. Run down the standings real quick for you people in the Nord Series. We got fights tonight. I'm going to be watching fights and the football game at the same time.
Angela Hill versus Zil Fausto, and
We actually do have an Angela Hill fight coming up. Because we always have an Angela Hill fight coming up.
Yep.
Let's be honest. All right, so we're 2 rounds through on the series here. 2 rounds, 4 races. And next up is going to be the Formula US cars on this track. Oh boy. Tobias Thierolf has won all 4 races. He leads the championship from Enrique Hervas. Martin Edmonds is in 3rd. Both of those guys are on 100 points. Max Simmons is on 98. He's in 4th place. 82 for Rene Ermer. 75 for Vic Vegas. 72 for James Butler. 58 for Mauricio Delgado and Andy Darnell. And 56 for Andrew D. Those are your standings heading into round 3 with Formula USA cars. Byron, you're going to love the Formula USA cars because if anyone's using push to pass, they're going in the freaking wall.
Nice.
Do you have any final thoughts for the viewers?
Since the Earth is the 3rd planet from the sun, that means every country is a 3rd world country.